Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Now, just a reminder to everybody, at this point all the watches I review belong to my collection and I receive no endorsements or gifts to review them. Now, for some time I've been considering a Yema watch, but the right watch just hasn't come along at the right price. Oh, not until this one popped up. Yema are a French brand and they've been around since 1948, but I doubt you want to know their history. They can be compared with entry-level Swiss brands, but are famed for making their own watches with their own in-house calibre. Whilst this watch is classed as a pilot's watch, I believe it's as much a field watch, and to be honest, there are elements that make this watch a diver's watch as well. Its versatility is one of the aspects that first attracted me to it. Welcome to my unpaid, unsponsored and very unprofessional review of the Yema Flygraf M2. So let's get the dimensions out the way, shall we? Well, it's a 39mm case. It's got a lug width of 19mm, a lug to lug of 48mm, it's 13mm deep, and on a strap it weighs about 95 grams. I would actually say the watch probably wears a little bit bigger than the dimensions indicate. I would say it wears more like a 40mm watch. There we are, all very nice, very professional. Genuine leather pouch, leather warranty card and some instructions that you will never use. Just a quick wrist check for you. Today I'm wearing my Seiko SKX 009 with its upgraded bracelet. As you can see, it's got a signed crown. It's about 7mm. It's very deep, it's well knurled, it operates the watch beautifully, it engages well. I will warn you though, it does have a ghost position. That isn't something that bothers me, but I know it bothers some people. Now, quite amazingly, for a pilot's watch, this has got a water resistance of 300 metres. Crazy. Now, on the Yema website, the in-house calibre is referred to as the Yema 2000, although I've heard it referred to as the MBP 1000. It's a high beat movement that ticks away at 28,800 beats per hour. It hacks, it hand winds, and it's got a power reserve of 45 hours. Yema claimed to check the regulation of each watch prior to leaving it the factory, but whilst the tolerance of this movement is plus minus 10 seconds a day, Yema claimed to regulate each watch within plus minus 6 seconds a day. Now this one's running at about plus 2, which is exceptional. Now let's have a look and see what it does on the time grapher. There you are, terrific. Time grapher readings, plus 1 second a day, amplitude healthy, beat error 0.1, which is fantastic, and the positional variance on this movement is outstanding. Now the watch has a flat sapphire crystal with some AR coating. I believe it's a clear AR coating, but I don't think there's an awful lot of it. Now moving on to the case itself, well, it's like it comes in three different aspects, if you like. It's got the bezel, the main case itself, and a rather deep case back. Now it's mainly polished, but it is brushed on the sides, but it's vertically brushed. Now I've had a look in my collection, and all the brushing on the rest of my watches is done horizontally. I find that a little bit disappointing. It's not bad, but I've seen better. It does have drilled lugs, however, for easy strap changes. This case back is absolutely wonderful. There we are, embossed on the back is the logo, Flygraf France, and as you can see around the side there's some basic information. The grey dial is vertically brushed. It's on two tiers with the 12-hour indices around the outside and the 24-hour indices in the middle. It's pretty much the standard Flyger Type B layout. Now this model also comes in black, but that's named the M1. The indices are painted on, but with great depth, making it almost look as if they've been applied. Now the handset is simple, but it's easy to read, like it should be on all pilot watches really. At the top, under the 12 index, is the company logo, and at the bottom of the watch is the 990 feet, and it's got this nice little picture of a plane. Whilst a fairly basic layout, it's just a little bit more interesting than most Flyger Type Bs. Now, it's got a BGW9 loom, and it's excellent, and it really does last all night. To be honest with you, it matches up to most dive watches. Now let's have a look at that loom. regards to the strap, this is the one that came with it. It's a rather nice canvas strap with a leather backing. Strangely enough, the buckle isn't signed. I decided to change it for something almost identical, only with white stitching, purely because I wanted to keep the original strap in pristine condition just in case I wanted to sell it. The only problem being that it's actually got a 19mm lug width, so finding straps is a little difficult. That said, the one that I've replaced it with is in actual fact a 20mm strap, and they do squeeze in quite well actually. Price and value for money. Now, purchased directly from Yema, this watch and this strap will cost you about £700 once you've factored in import charges. In reality, you will almost certainly be able to get yourself a discount, probably around about 10%. For what it's worth, I bought this 1-year-old model in excellent condition for £328 from a private eBay seller. So is the watch worth the money? It's a well-finished French watch with an excellent spec and an in-house movement. Now, in my humble opinion, I believe it is indeed worth that asking price, and quite possibly more. Please don't forget, you'll always pay a little bit more for a brand's heritage. Ultimately, it's just nice to get something from France that didn't arrive in an inflatable dinghy. Now, I couldn't find any QC issues, but like any watch, the Yema Flygraf isn't perfect. Now, making the watch 300m water resistance, as they only added to this depth, I would have been quite happy with 150m water resistance and maybe shaving a few millimetres off of that. I believe most other owners of this watch would probably say the same. I also get irritated when any manufacturer makes these odd lug widths. 20mm would have been fine for this watch and it really wouldn't have detracted from its design. Now finally, in certain lights, these white indices do look a little bit wishy-washy against this grey dial. Try and picture it with burnt orange indices. I think that would look perfect. Well, maybe that's just me. Now of course, there are far more positives than there are negatives. The movement's excellent, the hybrid design is a breath of fresh air, the chunky crown is a delight to use, the lume is incredible, and the bezel and dial layout make this watch look absolutely fantastic. Now, I can't tell you how happy I am that I've at last managed to get myself a Yema watch that I could afford. Seriously, if you're considering buying one of these, you could really spend your money on worse. That brings me to the end of this review. Thank you very much for taking the time to watch this video. If you enjoyed it, please press the like button, consider subscribing, and please leave your comments below. Enjoy the rest of your day.